And I'm from Manhattanville College. The first poem that I'm going to be reading tonight is called Where I'm From. I'm from the lip of wet ceilings, discolored walls, and chipped Cadillacs. I'm from busted streetlights, rusty love affairs, and saggy power lines. I'm from the bodega behind the fence, decorated in trash. I'm from the screams of dripped graffiti, corrupt campaigns, and malt liquor tears. I'm from empty trust funds, shoebox bank accounts, and master degrees in street smarts. I'm from faded henna, Spanglish, and the rough edges of patois. I'm from my grandmother's earthy cheek and the creak in grandfather's tin lunchbox. I'm from the cooking oil's jive on Soul Food Sunday. I'm from blazing bullet wounds, gone too soon pins, and girl, remember when? I'm from soup kitchens, boarded up museums, and fenced in playgrounds. I'm from the place where Jesus is always on the main line, but few really call him. I'm from where you don't make wishes on shooting stars, you say prayers to the flashes on ambulances and to sirens on cop cars. The next poem that I'll be reading is called Lineage of Womanhood, and there are 3 sections to my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. 1. Grandmother. Was it impossible to think, to drum up dreams in the fogged future and find my silhouette dancing in the wind? Or were there moments in the palpable minutes that unfolded your life where you saw me clearly and knew from your womb a seed would grow into a tree with fruits and flowers I would resemble? 2. Mother, my face is yours. The height in my cheekbones are mountains on sienna-shaded flat plains that blend seamlessly into yours. Your smile is mine. When happiness spills out of me uncontrollably, rushing like ocean waves of the deep tides, bringing in stories of your youth that merge with the currents of mine. My hopes were yours. Wild fuchsia and magenta flowers, a hint of the freshness in your spirit, the bounty of your bloom is where I find myself. 3. Aunt. When the article emerged in the New York Times about 1 in every 6 teenage girls in the 60s becoming a single parent by her 20s, I'm sure you weren't reading it. I bet you were sitting at the window of the 6th floor in the apartment complex you and your 4 siblings lived in, played in, dreamed in, feeling like a caged bird with no wings. I'm sure you were feeling the sting of being at the awkward cusp, child body betraying, womanly body coming too soon. But you were going to fulfill the statistic no one warned you about. And I, in my own awkward years, where I tightroped between the child of my past and the woman of my future, would find your dusted wings and fly. The next poem is called Escape of Memory, and dreams and memories are always 2 things that I always think heavily about, and I think often that I absorb the bad memories more than I absorb the good memories, and this is just me trying to figure out why we all tend to do that. Escape of memory. But don't we often bend backwards to grab pieces of our past, even pieces that sting us, sear us, make us bleed and break us a little? We splash in them. They, like silt, receding back into the limitless escape. Unseen are the footprints that brought us here. We cradle them, fragile offerings inside cracked basins. We seat them on the golden altar of our future. They burn unwavering through the night. We sip them, our nostrils flare to breathe in the sweet stench that wafts between the air of our past and the air of our future. Never forget. The last poem that I'll be reading is called Bedside Betrayal, and I actually wrote it a couple weeks ago, so I was a little nervous about debuting it here, but you know what? Just go with it. This also has to do with memories because this is a poem that took about 6 years for me to find the starting point. So this is it, Bedside Betrayal. In an abandoned bowl, creamy pancake mix bubbles in irritation. The orange message indicator flashes from the computer screen, a caution I did not heed. Cell phone rings, buried alive beneath books in a bag by the door. I threw it when news came from the speaker minutes before. Now I feel like a child in a queen-size bed. Fistfuls of down comforter ooze out of my grasp. I weep alone in this apartment. Legs kick against the limitless air my lungs can barely take in. I want to be free of this pain, this moment, as I am shocked by the coldness of this world. Would it have been any different hearing the death of you if it weren't revealed to me in mourning? Could I have delayed the news if night had lasted a little longer and slid slowly back into the hands of God? Under the dim eye of night, miles away, I couldn't see when the latches on your back door broke, when men in black hoodies gathered, or when gunshots welcomed you home. It was in that moment the city we both loved betrayed us. The blast of each searing bullet launched into the warmth of your youthful flesh, and smoke's broken wings flapped away from the blazing barrel, high and higher still. The only promise you ever broke was I'll see you soon. The weight of this is chiseled into a chip on my shoulder. I left my apartment days later without ever making those pancakes. They, at the hand of one of my roommates, were poured down the drain.